We are Homo sapiens, modern humans. We dodged extinction and thrived. But that wasn't the case for other ancient human species. If you think we just evolved in a straight line, you couldn't be more wrong. In fact, other human species lived alongside us. And yes, we even mixed genetically with some of them. But we're the only ones who made it to today. But how different were these early human species from us, really? Stick around to find out. Australopithecus afarensis. The Australopithecus species is one of the most well-known ancestors of modern humans. Australopithecus afarensis in particular became famous because of a skeleton discovered in 1974. Nicknamed Lucy, Australopithecus afarensis lived between 3 and 3.7 million years ago in East Africa. They had a small body and a small brain. Their height ranged from 3 to 5.5 feet, and they weighed between 55 and 140 pounds. Fossils have been found in Kenya, Ethiopia, and Tanzania. Australopithecus afarensis had a mostly vegetarian diet. Homo habilis. Homo habilis is the first primitive human species in the genus Homo. They descended from Australopithecus. Homo habilis lived around 1.4 to 2.3 million years ago in southern and eastern Africa. Their appearance was smoother and rounder compared to Australopithecus, but they were still smaller than modern humans, weighing an average of 75 pounds. Unlike their ancestors, Homo habilis also ate meat. They are known for developing a range of tools, which is where their name comes from, meaning handyman. Homo rudolfensis. There aren't many fossils of this archaic human species. Only a skull was discovered in the Turkana Basin in Kenya, followed by a jawbone in Malawi. The skull suggests their brains were larger than those of Homo habilis. Scientists still debate whether Homo rudolfensis really belonged to the genus Homo, or if it was just an Australopithecus with a bigger brain. They lived around 1.7 million years ago, meaning they would have coexisted with Homo habilis and Homo erectus. Homo erectus. Unlike the previous example, there are countless fossils of Homo erectus, dating from about 110,000 to 1.89 million years ago. Homo erectus was the longest living human species to ever walk the earth. They had larger bodies and smaller teeth than Homo habilis, and they were more similar to modern humans. However, they had shorter arms and longer legs compared to us. They were roughly our size, with heights ranging from about 4.9 feet to just over 5.9 feet, and averaged around 150 pounds. Homo erectus was the first human species to venture out of Africa. Homo ergaster. Homo ergaster lived in eastern and southern Africa between 1.4 and 1.9 million years ago. Like with Homo rudolfensis, scientists still debate whether Homo ergaster is a separate species or just a subspecies of Homo erectus. Homo ergaster coexisted with Homo erectus on our planet, but they were generally slimmer than Homo erectus, even though their diet and lifestyle were similar. They also used tools. Homo floresiensis. Homo floresiensis was discovered by scientists in 2003 in the Liang Bua cave on Flores Island in Indonesia. This primitive human species is estimated to have lived between 50,000 and 100,000 years ago. They were tiny compared to modern humans, but were fierce hunters. Weapons used to hunt stegodonts, a type of extinct elephant, were found. Scientists believe this species descended from Homo erectus and adapted to island life, evolving into dwarves. Homo heidelbergensis. Homo heidelbergensis lived between 200,000 and 600,000 years ago across various regions. Fossils suggest they roamed East and South Africa, as well as Europe and possibly China. They were the first human species to adapt to cold climates. This means they were really good at mastering fire, finding and building shelters, as well as developing tools and weapons, like spears. Homo antecessor. The first fossils of Homo antecessor were discovered between 1994 and 1996 in Atapuerca, Spain. Scientists dated the fossils to be between 800,000 and 1.2 million years old. Unlike other ancestors, Homo antecessor had features similar to modern humans, including their faces and hunting lifestyle. Homo naledi. In 2015, over 1,550 fossils were found in the Rising Star Cave System in South Africa. The species was given the name Homo naledi. This species is estimated to have lived around 236,000 to 335,000 years ago. They shared traits with both Australopithecines and humans. They had small heads, but their brains had a structure similar to ours. Homo neanderthalensis. Possibly the most famous archaic human species, Neanderthals lived between 24,000 and 200,000 years ago. These cavemen are probably the closest to our species. Neanderthals were shorter than modern humans, but had a very robust build. They lived in Eurasia during the Ice Age, which is why they adapted to the cold weather. Neanderthals developed advanced weapons and tools, made clothing, and built shelters. They also had larger brains and were more intelligent than other species. Neanderthals also showed signs of culture and spiritual beliefs, including ritual burials, art, and even musical instruments. Although Neanderthals are extinct, they interbred with non-African modern humans, so their genes are still present in us today. Denisovans. Remains of this human species were discovered in a cave in Siberia in 2010. They are believed to have lived around 400,000 years ago. It is thought that Denisovans branched off from Neanderthals and migrated to Asia instead of Europe. They also interbred with modern humans and may have been the last archaic human species to go extinct. Homo longi. In 1933, a skull was found in Harbin, northeastern China. They were larger than modern humans but had almost square eye sockets and thick brow ridges. It was nicknamed the Dragon Man. The fossil dates back to about 146,000 years ago. It wasn't until 2021 that scientists considered Homo longi a distinct human species, though this is still up for debate. Some scientists believe it could be a Denisovan. It's kind of wild to think that so many human species once walked this earth, and yet we're the only ones left. Each of them had their own story, their own struggles, and their own way of adapting to the world around them. And by learning about them, we actually get a deeper understanding of who we are and where we came from. If you enjoyed this journey through extinct human species and want to see more content like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And let me know in the comments which species you thought was the most fascinating, or which one you think we'd get along with today. Your feedback really helps the channel grow, so don't be shy. Drop a comment, share the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.